Welcome back. So today we're going to be doing step-by-step procedure on changing the fluid in your manual transmission on a C4 Corvette. So this is going to apply mainly to the ZF6 transmission, but it's the same principles for doing the 4+3 transmission. So we're going to go over the tools you need and the fluids and all the little details. This week's video is brought to you by SeatShafts.com, manufacturer of solid stainless steel seat motor drive shafts. Save money on costly seat repairs by replacing the weaker factory shaft with an upgraded, stronger one. Custom sizes available for all makes and models: BMW, Chevy, Dodge, GMC, Mazda, Mercedes, and many more. Visit the link in the description or go to SeatShafts.com. Okay, so once you get your car safely jacked up at a height where you can get underneath of it, you're going to need a few things. So starting off with the obvious things, you're going to need a bucket to drain the fluid into, and then you're going to need some tools to unloosen the drain plug. So the first thing that I always do is you want to loosen the fill. You want to make sure that comes off, especially on these ZF6s, they can get really stuck inside. So loosen the fill first and make sure that comes out. Because if you end up draining it and you can't get the fill plug out, your car is going to be stuck. So with the ZF6, you need a 17mm Allen head socket for the fill and the drain plug. You're also going to need some sort of breaker bar because they are in there pretty tight, and a ratchet for the socket. Now, if you have a 4+3 transmission, you're going to need a 9/16 open end wrench to get the drain and the fill. At that point, you want to get everything out, and you're going to need some thread sealant for the plugs to put them back in, or you could use the tape, the thread tape too, to help that seal that up. You're also going to need a fluid pump to get the fluid back inside the transmission, and you're going to need some fluid. So ZF6, this is a 5W30 synchro mesh by AMSOIL, and this is what you need for that car. There are different types that you can use, but this is pretty much the most accurate oil that came in the car from the factory. And it's going to actually take 2.2 quarts. So you're going to literally need to buy 3 of these, and they run about $20 a quart. Now, if you're running the 4+3, you can use a 7580 synchro mesh from GM. Also, with this fluid pump, this thing was around 12 bucks on Amazon. It's meant for a normal quart container with a small fill. So I ended up getting an extra little bottle for this to screw on. Because of the holes of these, you can't screw the pump onto this. So this is going to pretty much just transfer the fluid into here and then pump that back into the car. But if you have this type of quart container, it'll screw right onto that. Also, brake cleaner and rags. Okay, so now I'm underneath the car, and right on the passenger side, on the side of the trans, that is the fill plug, and then directly underneath of it, right here, is the drain plug. So I'm going to use my breaker bar and my socket, crack this loose. Now that's loose, so I know it's okay, and now I can go ahead and loosen my drain. For some reason you have issues with this, you could always heat this with a torch and get it hot enough, and then try to put a breaker bar on it, and then at that point it should come right off. But usually with a breaker bar it'll come off pretty easy. I have my bucket underneath this. Now once I have it loose enough, I'll just undo it with my fingers and just drain it all out into the bucket. Alright, so I have my drain plugs here. I'm going to just use some brake cleaner, get all the oil off of them. All right, and once I got them cleaned up, I'm going to use some of this pipe sealant and put it on the threads on each one. You don't have to get crazy, you just want to put a little bit on. All right, so once we have that on there, I'm gonna go ahead and put the drain plug back in, and then we can start filling it. Okay, now that it's drained, I'm just gonna brake clean around here to get some of the fluid off. And now I'll run my drain plug back up in here. Once you have that tight, you can just wipe off the rest of the little thread sealer here, clean that up a little bit. And now we can add the fluid. So the pump gives you 2 extensions depending on how long your quart container is. So it looks like this small one will work with this extra container I have. And you can just kind of eye it up, see if it bottoms out at the bottom there, which that should work. So now I'm going to transfer my fluid into this container. Alright, so now I have my pump here with the oil, and I'm going to put it in the fill here. And once again, it's 2.2 quarts for a ZF6. You would have to check out the fluid capacity for the 4+3. Unfortunately, I don't have that information at the moment. And now we'll just start pumping it in there. Alright, now with the transmission filled, I can go ahead and put the fill plug back in and tighten it down. Alright, so that's a wrap. Pretty easy to do. Jack the car up, drain the old fluid out, pump in the new stuff. The only thing you pretty much have to do is order the AMSOIL oil and then get that 17mm socket for the ZF6 transmission. Besides that, it takes you no time to do and help you with the life of your transmission. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Thanks for watching.